Scottish voice and you're trying to say 22 or 90 and give it all clickety-click, they would slaughter you. Absolutely. So it broke the tension.
It would drag a long night into a short night because you'd play your balls and your bingo, then it'd be bedtime, so you'd be ready for the game the next morning. But yeah, people used to laugh, oh, they play bingo and they do this, but it was, yeah. When you think about it, I couldn't see the modern day professionals sitting playing bingo for put a fiver in each or whatever, but we did and we enjoyed it, and it certainly didn't do us any harm.
On its own, number 5, all the sixes, 66, 5 and 6.
The most feared team in European football liked to unwind dreaming of two fat ladies, but they never lost sight of Revy's #1 target. He didn't want a full house, just the championship. In the UEFA Cup, Hibs held Leeds to a draw at Elland Road. For the return leg in Edinburgh, Don Revy had a surprise. Not just for Hibs, but for the Leeds players whose will to win was ingrained.
He said to me, Billy and Eddie, look, you know, you're going up there, but I don't want you getting injured. Your parents should come and see you. I don't want any bad tackles. Keep out of trouble. We'll go up there. And we weren't not trying, but we were just playing the kids, you know, and we just went up there really to see our parents enjoy the game. And Hibs had been down here and drew, and you know, he said that they're not a bad side, you know, so he would have been happy that we went out.
He just rested so many players. It was more or less put out a reserve side, but Billy wanted to play. Came back to Scotland playing against Hibs, and you know, he was brought up not that far away from Edinburgh and Stirling, and Billy played sweeper and was absolutely unbelievable, gave an astonishing performance and they get through to the next round. But it's one of the few occasions, like Don Revy didn't really want to win the game, but Billy had different ideas.
Leeds eventually went out of the UEFA Cup to Vitoria Setúbal and took an early exit in the FA Cup with a shock defeat to Bristol City on the 19th of February 1974.
Leeds defence absolutely wide open.
Now there were no distractions. Leeds were free to chase the dream of winning the league undefeated. At home to Stoke City, they were looking to stretch their unbeaten run to 30 games.
We had a couple of little hairy moments, you know, going to Newcastle, winning 1-0. We went to Birmingham, and I think we drew at Birmingham. But then we went to Stoke. Stoke was the place. And we were 2-0 up. How we lost it, I'll never know.
But lose they did. It was a shock 3-2 victory for Stoke.
If we weren't playing that well, he'd come into the dressing room and we could tell if he was upset, because the first thing he would do, he'd go to the mirror and comb his hair, and then he'd wipe everything off the table. And he would let you know, in no uncertain terms, that he wasn't happy.
On that day, he was combing his hair and Les Cocker was beside him, and whether he allowed it to be overheard or not, he's saying to Les as he was combing his hair and trying to compose himself, he says, Les, I think it's about time we got some players in here. I think we need to get the chequebook out.
Oh, he went mad, he was crazy, and we were well clear at the top of the league. What's up with him?
Come on!
Don Revy's team had gone a record 29 games undefeated. A cause for celebration, you might think. But bizarrely, in that one defeat, Revy seemed to see 10 years of hard work begin to unravel. The spell he had cast over the team broken. His anxiety filtered through to his players, and a string of bad results followed. At times of crisis, Revy put his faith not so much in his team, but in a set of otherworldly rituals. It wasn't a rabbit's foot or a horseshoe the doubt-ridden manager turned to for inspiration. It was his lucky traffic light.
I'm possibly the most superstitious man in the world. Every year I have a light blue mohair suit made, and I wear it all season for matches. I usually put the same shirt on, the same socks, the same shoes.
I remember having a team meeting at Roundy Park, and his trousers were shiny at the back because he'd been worn that much. And he had these notes, and he was reading these notes, and he dropped them on the floor. And he bent down, and all of a sudden we heard this... He'd ripped all his trousers at the back. Well, there's sudden panic on his face. And he said to one of the staff, he said, get them down to the ground, get them fixed before 3 o'clock, and really in panic, put some tracksuit bottoms on. He went down to the ground at 2:30, the trousers hadn't come back, and the panic on his face was immense. 10 to 3, still hadn't come, and he shouted in the corridor, I'll not use the language, but what he said, I wouldn't say, I'll repeat it, And at 5-3 they came in, these trousers, and they put him on, and the relief on his face was incredible.
I think superstitions only work if you've got good players. At Leeds United, they always just sit in the same seats in the coach, and they used to sit in the same seats in the dining room and in hotels, and we used to go through the same ritual, and certain players go out in certain positions, and certain players carry balls out, and certain players put the left boots on first.
Obviously, as the years went on, he built up more and more superstitions because the way he was, if something happened good and he'd done something, that was included in the next lot of superstitions. So by the time it got to the end of his managing at Leeds, he had that many superstitions. It must have took him an hour every day to go through them all.
And then he had a gypsy coming down the ground once to try and get rid of a curse he thought was on Ellen Road. I don't know why he thought that was a curse on Ellen Road, because hardly him to beat us there. I know. But he got the gypsy to come down.
He was a worrier, you know, and there was always a little bit of a doubt in his mind about what his team could achieve and what they couldn't achieve, you know, and sometimes maybe that transmitted through to the players.